I've used these same techniques to light a fire in every environment, and you can too. Let's find some dry tinder. So exciting. Look underneath things that already have natural protection. Don't just grab it right out here in the open. We have some pitch down here, right on the underside of this tree where it's dry. This doesn't matter, it's already waterproof. But got some nice dry platform material that we can light our tinder on. That's initially what we're looking for, is something that's light, hair-like, and fibrous. You can use pieces of bark as a type of sandwich technique to help keep it dry out in these conditions where it's snowing and or raining. And it's a good platform. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a lot of pitch right there. Just the resin that's coming out of the tree and solidifying. Let's get some more tinder. Got this thinner dead grass right here. It hasn't been raining, only snowing. So it should be mostly dry above the snow. Just started snowing out, hasn't melted yet. We can initially get it going with this. It's more that light, hair-like and fibrous, and then we'll go to this. We have this grass, which is thicker, still pretty dry. It's a little bit wet. We're underneath this tree right here, which is awesome. We're up above the snow, but just initially lighting this up isn't gonna work as well as something thinner. Get more than you think. When you get a natural tinder, you want to get at least a softball size, if not a double softball size. So what's a double softball size? Right, the size of what's in between your legs. Good job. Because you know how to survive. Keep it protected as much as possible. In a jacket, plastic bag, you can put it straight. I've put it straight in my clothes before to help dry it out. If it's slightly wet, and you have just a little bit, you can put it inside your hat. If you're not working too hard and making a bunch of perspiration, your body heat's gonna dry it out. Another advantage to grass is you can take a whole bunch of grass. If you don't have much insulation on you, put that up, make some insulation, a whole bunch. Yeah, it's not gonna be very comfortable, but you're gonna be a lot warmer. Wow. Would you just look at it? We have this clump of brush here. Looks like a lot of good, thin pieces of wood. Now initially, hit all the snow off of there so it all doesn't fall down on top of your head. With this stuff, make a nice sharp crack. Want nice small pieces, and this is gonna be better than what's in this area, which is predominantly ponderosa trees. Most of their sticks on the ends aren't small like this. It's a good bush. Let's bring it over to our fire area. Look at that, right under this rock here, there's a lot of dry tinder as well. Sometimes if you get lucky, you can find stuff in overhanging caves, but I wouldn't count on that. Pretty dry pine needles there. You can also put our tinder in here. Keep it dry and protected. I'm not as warm now. Took it out of my clothes. Tinder sandwich. Get your best small stuff off the end of this stick and protect it as we're going. Notice I don't have gloves on right now. My hands are a little bit wet, but my gloves are even wetter. So we have our site prepared. Ideally, we'd want to be doing this inside our shelter where we're protected, and then we could light our fire real close and not light our shelter on fire, you know, and so on down the road. But we're as protected as possible here. We got some wind coming in, but we have rocks right here. We're underneath a tree. We have a platform protecting it from the snow. Underneath our pieces of bark, we have a primary tinder, secondary tinder, which we have our pine needles here and over there, and then our pitch as well. Trying to keep this as dry as possible. We also have our brace, which is very important. We want that the size of our tinder. With our grass, try and break it up. Break it up nice and small. Get some of those fibers exposed, and that's gonna help for it to light up. We also have right here our pencil lead size, and that's bark on the bottom and over the top helping to protect it. And then we have our pencil size and fuel size after that. Now to light this up, let's use our metal match. Let's get this globular pitch a little bit finer. Get our globular pitch nice and fine and powdery. Nice sturdy platform so we can put our metal match in here. And then you want to sharpen up your flathead side of your screwdriver, something that's going to be strong. I've seen people use the back side of their saw, and as they're using it, they accidentally hit the unlock lever and it goes back on their finger, and then they're out for a couple months. I've seen some instructors do that. So you don't do that. So you use your metal match and keep working a hot spot. Stop right before the bottom so it doesn't snuff it out. Now that pitch is starting to light. Also notice the wind is going this way. I got my brace blocking it. Now let this go. This might go out again. You might just have to light it up. This is going to melt into the grass and act as a wick. Now be patient. Now we can put some of our thicker pitch in with it next to it without smothering it. So that went out, that's okay. Get right back to it. It's still warm enough so you don't need to strike it as much. Now it's real important you don't go all the way down and smother the tinder. See, I'm stopping right before, and I have a little ridge on my metal match where I don't cut into it. That's where I stop, and it helps to angle it down as well. Where that tip is going to hit, it's going to help you from catching and going too far down. Now I just want our pitch to light up. And this will burn for a long, long time. Now let's simulate, maybe we're just going from there, from say a match or lighter, to our dead pine needles. Let's see how these light up. You can see that black smoke there. That's partly pitch, and it's also pitch or tree sap inside these pine needles. But notice how they just don't all flare up. They need to dry out a bit. They flash up and then go from there. So they're not the best tinder. In survival, don't ever put your tools down on the ground. It's easy to forget where you put them down, especially if you're tired. You've been down there for days. You may forget where you put it, and then you may not find it. Or it's just easy to lose. It can get caught up with snow, all those different things. Now with your tinder, I'm going to try and keep the pitch in the same spot. Roll it over, and then get our secondary tinder on there. And then we want to put our whole pile of sticks over the top. Make sure I'm not smothering it. But you got all this smoke. This smoke is real hot right here. It's going well. I can see underneath. That white smoke means it's starting to dry itself out, as well as it's burning pretty hot inside there. So be patient. You can lift up your brace a little bit, get some more airflow underneath there. Got a pretty good coal base. I could blow on it lightly inside there, now that it's been going for a while. That's still real hot. I can barely keep my hand there. It's just drying all this out. I don't want to be moving this around a bunch. I want this smoke to dry my sticks out. And also, hold your next stage over the top. Get those drying out without smothering it. Now you can see why we need a big brace. Smoke is brutal right now, getting in your eyes. But since everything is wet, you want to make sure that you have a bunch of tinder. That's why we collected so much. Get the next stuff on to dry out. Seems like you're putting it out, but we have a good coal base down there. It's drying everything out. That's critical. A lot of times by the time it's dried out, it's already burnt up. Now we can go get some more wood and just keep putting it on. Oh no, it turned. Sorry, I didn't notice my camera turned, but as it was going, it was drying everything out. As we're laying the wood on there, it's going well. Notice how that broke off nice and easy. Just dry on the inside. Nice! I've used these same techniques to light a fire in every environment, and you can too. Just make sure you remember the steps: platform, brace, small stuff, lots of tinder, and then you're gonna be successful like this. Keep surviving.